the theme for Greenbuild this year is human by nature, and it's my favorite, hands down, Greenbuild theme ever. I've been to every single one, so I feel like I have a pretty good bench on that. And the reason that I think that it's so great is because it is personal. The idea of it means something different to everyone, whether the idea is equitable by nature, just, inclusive, integrative, all of these things that remind us that the work that we're doing in green building, in integrating these concepts into the way that we design, build, and operate our built environment really is not apart from nature. From the standpoint of new things that have been this year, Amal Clooney, the human rights lawyer, was our keynote, and the message that she brought to help us understand how the work that she's been doing aiding refugees from conflicts around the world aligns with the work that we are doing to combat climate change and deal with the things that are going to be causing refugees from climate crisis was a message that kicked us off in an amazing way. In Boston, in Greenbuild, several years ago, we had Desmond Tutu as our keynote, and I think that, you know, Desmond Tutu is a pretty high bar to compare to, but I thought she's right at that level in terms of the message that she brought to us. So we convene Greenbuild every year, and it is the highlight of my year because people that I've known for 15 years come back and convene here. I think that, you know, there's a chance that we're preaching to the choir a little bit. Every year we do this, but it's a pretty great choir to start with. The work that USGBC does really does go much further beyond that just this week that we're here every year. We have an integrated and aligned group of chapters and community networks around the country that are the on-the-ground representatives of green building and USGBC and LEED on a day-to-day basis, getting into their local jurisdictions and deploying LEED projects. And we have a mirror image of that all around the globe. We have green building councils all around the world that we partner with to do education, to do training, to do advocacy, to do the type of tent revival that Greenbuild is, and it's really just a thrill to be able to get everybody in the same room to get inspired and then have them go back out and do their work on the ground. There's a lot of activity always at Greenbuild. The highlights for me this year relate to the impending release of a new version of the LEED rating system. We did a 4.0 version of LEED several years ago, and over the course of that time, we've had hundreds and thousands of projects using it, and it gives us an opportunity to take a look back on the successes and the challenges that those projects have helped us understand and integrate that into the continuous improvement process that we have for LEED. So we are in the process of putting out version 4.1 LEED rating system, and it is a really significant opportunity for us to take everything that the people around Greenbuild and around the country and around the world have taught us about how they implement our tool and then make it that much better. So our community, our on-the-ground community, plays a vital role in helping local governments understand how they can be better stewards of their built environment. I think the primary thing that I'm interested and excited to talk about is the release of the International Green Construction Code. The International Green Construction Code is a partnership between USGBC, the International Code Council, ASHRAE, the American Institute of Architects, and the Illuminating Engineers Society to bring about and establish a regulatory framework for greening building codes. So the IGCC was released last week, and we've been celebrating that release all week at Greenbuild, and we've convened several code officials to be able to help them understand how the adoption of a green code in their jurisdiction can help them take the work that has been done over the last 25 years in the green building industry and move that into a regulatory context. So looking down the line, one of the things that has been a really strong theme in the context of this year's Greenbuild is this idea of understanding how buildings integrate into the infrastructure that they are inextricably connected into. So the idea of buildings that are in communication with the power grid or the water and wastewater infrastructure or the transportation infrastructure that surrounds them. That broader theme of integration is something that is a really exciting new chapter that the green building industry is moving into. We've been working on transactive power, we've been working on grid integration of buildings to understand how the proliferation of distributed energy resources on buildings like photovoltaics or renewable energy generation on a building can assist or challenge the existing energy, the supply side of the energy industry, and exploring ways that we can partner with and find synergies with the deployment of building scale solutions that solve grid scale problems. Greenbuild in Chicago this year is the largest Greenbuild that has happened. There have been 4 other Greenbuilds that have been happening, that happen around the world. Right now in India, there's a Greenbuild India happening, and we've also had Greenbuild in Mexico and Europe. The opportunity that this gives us to convene thought leaders, international thought leaders, to help us understand how our tool influences their decisions and be a feedback mechanism to help teach us what we can do better to understand and learn from their experiences and their expertise is really, I think, the hallmark of what the outcomes of all of those green builds have been about. So all around the world, we're seeing convenings like this where the leadership green building people are coming together to trade ideas, to get inspired by each other, and then take that inspiration and those ideas and bring them back to their communities.